Hey guys, I'm here to talk about Bastiodon and Rampardos due to how much people have been complaining about it. Because of what Bastiodon's ability is, and because of Rampardos' ability is as well. The problem that I see with um, these two cards is almost all the meta requires 2 energies or less, which make Bastiodon a really, really strong card. And these are some examples of what it can stop. It can stop Dragapult, Festival Lead, Mega Lucario, Cynthia's Garchomp, Rocket's Honchkrow, Spidops, Zoroark, Starmie Frostlass, Okidogi, and Typhlosion. Those are examples I have more later on. This is what Bastiodon does. The ability is the only thing that really matters. Ancient Bulwark. While this Pokemon is on your bench, prevent all damage done to your Pokemon by attacks from your opponent's Pokemon that have 2 or fewer energies attached. So anything that, like Dragapult, if it has 2 energies, it just doesn't do damage. The damage counters do go through, just like Alakazam would go through it, and Absol's Torrential, period. So, effects go through, not damage. With Rampardos, the ability Destructive Headbutt, once during your turn, if this Pokemon is in the active spot, you may flip a coin. If heads, discard 1 energy from your opponent's active Pokemon. This is really strong because you want to keep your opponent at 2 or less energies so damage doesn't go through. And especially with Rampaging Hammer, 150 during your next turn, attacks used by this Pokemon deal 150 more, doing 300 damage constantly for 2 energies. And we all know how strong fighting types are because of Lucario and Zygarde with Barbaracle as well. It's easy to get energy acceleration. There's the Premium Power Pros to get even more damage. There's the Fighting Gongs. Like, it has so much. Fighting has everything right now, say with Grass, but Fighting poses a bigger threat because of how much stuff it has. So 300 to do 330 just with 1 power premium, that's enough to take out most things. Obviously not like Megas, but not a lot of things can one-shot Megas anyways. Oh, and I had another thing on the previous slide. Due to being fighting type, it has access to... Yep, right there. Fighting Gong. I forgot to mention Solrock Lunatone for draw power. Like, it has as much as you need. It also has Rocky Energy, so it stops Alakazam. It has so much stuff. Then we have the early game attacker, Relicanth, which all it is Fossil Beatdown is crazy. 10 damage, but if you have, what is it called? If you have cards on the bench with Antique in its name, so all the fossils, any fossil that's out right now, it is 30 more, which isn't hard to get with the new stuff, aka the Stadium. Once during each player's turn, that player may search their deck for up to 2 trainer cards with Antique in their name. Put them on the bench and show them shuffle your deck. That's 70 damage instantly like Solrock. And if you want to run Petrol as well, you can run Petrol to look for that Stadium or Chorus. So you have options. And if you start off with that Stadium and you have a Petrol in hand, you can Petrol then for another Antique card to do 100 damage. That's a lot. So Relicanth is going to be a threat as well, and it's a colorless energy what Relicanth can do. So all it's going to do is just, it can be put into any fossil deck. So that's a lot. It's just a lot. Obviously, these are what are the fossils. The fossils don't do too much. The skull one, or the spiky skull fossil, if you get hit, your opponent or if you get hit by an attack from your opponent, that opponent's Pokemon now takes 30 damage. It's nothing too crazy. And the other one is you take 10 less. So nothing too crazy like, not like Tyranitar, like the Sail Fossil, where you just stop effects altogether. Then, so the reason why this card's in here, this card is kind of like Bastiodon with Frigid Fangs. During your opponent's next turn, Pokemon that have 2 or less energy can't attack at all. So Alakazam just wouldn't be able to attack, or Torrential period wouldn't be able to attack. But the reason why this one didn't do as well as Bastiodon Rampardos, or is not going to do, the reason why this one is not going to do as well as Bastiodon Rampardos whenever that comes out, is because Rampardos does a heavy 300 damage. That's why it's going to be a big difference. And Rampardos has the ability to discard energies, and Bastiodon only has to be on the bench. Yes, it has a 4 retreat cost, but you have stuff like Switch, Kieran, Surfer, all stuff like that, and Prime Catcher just to get yourself out of the active. So there's a lot to switch out and in. Walrein just didn't have that power. You don't want Brave Bengal in there because you want Handheld Fan, and it just doesn't work compared to these ones. So there's so much. There's a strategy that I made for it's like a quick strategy. You always want to go second because you want the petrol, you want to get your fossils up, and you want Relicanth to attack. It's just put pressure on your bench, kind of like Solrock, or pressure on the opponent, kind of like Solrock Lunatone. So you make sure you have Relicanth in the active, with a card to search for the stadium to look for 2 fossils, and an energy to guarantee 70 damage. You want to make sure you can get yourself up quick to lock your opponent as soon as possible. So you have rare candies in there. You're gonna have you're gonna run a 4 line of rare candy. You're most likely gonna run like a 3/3 of both attackers and of Rampardos and Bastiodon, maybe even a 4/4, just to get your opponent locked as quick as possible. And once you get Rampardos up, you make sure your opponent isn't allowed to get energies on the board. If they start to set up on the bench, boss up one of them and just start lowering their energies as much as they can. It's crazy on how quick this can get and how scary this deck can get. And cards make Bastiodon stronger, which I've already explained most of them. Colorless, Lunatone Zarok, Premium Power Pro, Rocky Energy, and Handheld Fan. The only one I haven't talked about was Handheld Fan, which if you get hit by your opponent, you move one of your opponent's active energies to one of your opponent's benched, which is a way to lower the energy cost lower the energy amount on your opponent's active to make it easier. You also have Rampardos' ability, again, like I said, and you also have Crushing Hammer. I forgot to include that. Crushing Hammer is the same thing as Rampardos' ability. Just flip a coin. If heads, you discard one of your opponent's Pokemon's energies. There's also Enhanced Hammer, which is just for special energies, but I don't think that is worth it to add in the deck. I think it's just Crushing Hammer is all you need. Then this is the cards that Bastiodon will stop. These are the extras. Dragapult, Spidops, Dipplin, Garchomp, Zoroark, Lucario, Starmie, Frostlass, Okidogi, Honchkrow, Lopunny, and Typhlosion. Because these guys require 2 or less energies, yes, Dragapult can play Blaziken to get 3 energies up, same with Spidops and Garchomp. Garchomp makes it a little hard because you have to discard all energies. Zoroark, you can play 3. Lucario, you can play 3. Oki, you can play 3, but none of the rest. Dragapult is also low on energies, just like how Spidops is. I mean, yes, Spidops I don't think will be stopped as much because Spidops is a grass type and Rampardos is weak. You can play a Spidops grass energy, or you can play a grass energy on Spidops with a Team Rocket energy. That's 3 energies right there. So it wouldn't stop Rampardos, or it wouldn't stop Spidops, but still it stops a lot of decks. Then I forgot to change the title, I think. Cards Bastiodon will stop. Cards that stop Bastiodon. That's what I meant to put, but it's okay. Teal Mask Ogerpon, Yanmega, Alakazam, Ursaluna, Flareon, Mewtwo, Venusaur, Ogerpon, or Cornerstone Ogerpon, Mega Dragalge, Crustle, Archaludon, and Absol. The reason why I put Cornerstone is because that deck it's all abilities. Meaning you're going to need... if you have Cornerstone, it just stops it completely. I mean, yes, I can add Mega Lucario into the deck because it's a fighting deck, and then Cornerstone doesn't have it, but then Crustle. You got Crustle, there's not a lot of fighting. You could put Ursaluna in there, but I don't know if you want to do that. But the reason why there's a lot of grass is because it's weak to grass. Dragalge is an effect, it's a special condition. Alakazam's an effect as well. Flareon I put in there because it doesn't stop the effect of energy acceleration. Absol's in there because it doesn't stop that. And I think that's it. The Yanmega is 4 energies. Yes, you do move the energies to the bench, but you're always going to be attacking with more than 2 energies with the Yanmega, so that you have those. These are the positives of Bastiodon. Bastiodon will allow more diverse metagames instead of constantly having the same decks win. This will force players to play something different that require more energies. We've been needing a different format for a while. I have been told so many times that this format is stale because all we have is Dragapult and Crustle. Those are the 2 decks that are dominating the tier list right now because they both have everything. Dragapult, yes, requires skill. Crustle does not. And everyone knows that. Crustle is not a skillful deck. All it is basically just get him up, sit there, heal if need to, and then just sit more. I don't know how to explain this at all, but to have people understand. But this Bastiodon card will force people to finally get out of their shell and go to different decks like Mega Charizard or like Mega Dragalge, or even some decks that are, I don't know, Mega Zygarde, Mega Manectric, stuff like that. We've been needing a different meta than what we have. And just like I explained in the second bullet point, it feels like meta has turned into a 1 energy knockout. Mega Starmie and Mega Frostlass do ridiculous amount of damage for 1 energy. Lucario is the same way, especially with how much support fighting has. And that's just the start of it. You have, I mean, yes, Slowrock Lunatone is also a 1-hit KO, and Relicanth is going to be the same way. But every Mega has turned into a 1-shot or 1 energy KO. Dragapult is just a Crispin KO. Everything is a 1 turn or turn 2 knockout. It has been so annoying for the past forever because all the game is literally turning into how fast can you get your deck up. If you can't get it up in turn 2, you just concede because you're not going to win. And it again is becoming so stale. And I don't know how many people will agree with this, but I think the game is going downhill because of how little you have to do in the decks now. And yes, again, like Dragapult has all these different options where you can just Dusknoir or Blaziken or just go just Dragapult. But again, they don't require a lot of strategy. It requires a lot of thinking with how much damage you want to put on one of your opponent's bench Pokemon. But in reality, it's basically just get as much damage and then kill when need be. One of my favorite decks was Steelbox, and that required a lot of thinking because you don't know what you want to do because there's so much different attackers. So, like, Mewtwo, I'm going to be honest with Mewtwo. Yes, I love it to death. It's one of my favorite decks, but it's not fully strategic. Honchkrow is more strategic because you got to know which supporters you want to use. So this will force players to finally play other decks that's not a 1 energy KO. These are the negatives I will have about it, though, that will actually affect the whole community. It will stop a lot of decks that people tried testing. This card could potentially destroy the popularity of the game due to how annoying it would be to go against it. And then it would just be a fossil deck that will run it. Other decks such as Steelbox and possibly wall decks such as Crustle will run to get even stronger. And there isn't much 2+ energy cards that are good. Because everyone wants to go to a 1 energy KO. Yanmega, I'm going to be honest, Yanmega is so fun to play. Mega Manectric has a lot of potential. And let me go back to the list. I mean, Alakazam gets stopped by everything, so I'm not going to even count it. But, Yanmega is so fun to play. Venusaur has a lot of potential. Manectric, which isn't even on here, which I should have added, has a lot of potential. Absol could be back. Arcaludon's boring. Crustle needs to go on because of how annoying it is. Dragalge, I think I've already said it, but Dragalge is going to be a really fun deck. But I'm trying to think of, other decks out there that could work just better than what we have. I mean, it won't work better than what we have, but it'll be more fun, and I think that's what the game is missing now. The game is missing a diverse meta. We've had a diverse meta. I think we've had a diverse meta before. I've only played for a year, so I can't say that. But I'm pretty sure we had a diverse meta before, and now all of a sudden it's just pulled. If you guys haven't seen the tournament or any of that, 35% of players were playing Dragapult. 10% was playing Crustle. That is crazy. That shows that no one knows what to play anymore. And they're just going to go with the easiest deck to pick up. Yes, I played Dragapult before too. I regret it because it was so boring. You had everything, which to me I find stupid. Mewtwo, yes, has everything as well, but again, there's other decks out there that have potential to be dangerous. It's just that people need to look for it, and I think that's what this Bastiodon would do. That Bastiodon will force people to get out of their safe zone and try stuff. And that's what we need. So what do you guys... I want to hear from you guys. What do you guys think about the Bastiodon card? I'm not going to judge your opinion, because obviously this whole video was my opinion. I do think it will be strong. I do think it will be overpowered. But again, we can't always have a perfectly balanced game. But again, what do you guys think about it? I will love to hear it.